Larry Martin Hagman came into this world in Fort Worth, Texas on September 21, 1931. Larry Hagman was born into a family that mixed the realms of show business and military service. His mother, Mary Martin, was a celebrated silent film and stage actress, while his father, Richard, was a merchant and naval commander, bestowing upon him the work ethic and aesthetic sensibility that would come to characterize his profession. He wanted to be an actor since he was a little boy, and he's seen the glitz and drama of the stage and film often. Having graduated from Bard College and served in the U.S. Air Force, Hagman honed the discipline and fortitude that would propel him through the highs and lows of Hollywood, and his career in the entertainment industry began in earnest in the 1950s. He began appearing in films in the 50s and quickly became known as an actor who could pull off a variety of roles. But television would prove to be the medium through which his greatest lasting impact would be most felt. After playing the charming yet manipulative oil magnate J.R. Ewing on the 1978 to 1979 CBS primetime soap series Dallas, Larry Hagman became famous all over the world. In terms of performance, he was revolutionary. Hagman crafted a persona whose profound moral ambiguity, slicked back hair, and piercing eyes captivated audiences for more than 10 years. J.R. Ewing exemplified the hedonism and ruthlessness of American business life and became a cultural phenomenon. Hagman became famous all around the globe, not only in America, because to his superb performance in the part. Hagman cemented her position in pop cultural history with her portrayal of the character, whose plots, betrayals, and surprising twists drove the plot of the show and made Dallas one of the most viewed television series of its day. Hagman showed incredible versatility in her humorous and tragic roles outside of Dallas. I Dream of Jeannie, the popular comedy in which he played Major Anthony Nelson, allowed viewers to see a softer, more endearing side of his acting abilities, as did his connection with Barbara Eden. His ability to move fluidly between the magical sitcom's screwball shenanigans and the primetime opera's heavy drama was on full display in this role. Acclaimed for his expertise, devotion, and the depth he offered to every performance, Hagman also made guest appearances on television, in theaters, and in films. Fans, friends, and co-workers all adored Larry Hagman off-screen for his kind nature, hilarious sense of humor, and kind spirit. He spoke openly about his life's challenges, including his fight with cancer and other health problems. He had a liver transplant in 1995, for example. Because of his strength of character and optimistic view on life, the public held him in even higher esteem after these events. Hagman's candor regarding his life demonstrated that even a famous person can maintain their humanity, humility, and accessibility, which served as an inspiration to many. Larry Hagman wed Maj Axelsson in 1954. Maj was born in Sweden and had a distinct European background that Hagman inherited. The Swedish city of Eskilstuna, in the ancient province of Södermanlands land, is where Maj was born on May 13, 1928. She was a strong, independent heroine who mirrored Hagman's own personality and whose perspective was formed by her upbringing during a period of great social and political change in Europe. They accomplished the incredible feat of staying together for nearly 60 years after meeting and then being married, which is no small feat in the cutthroat world of Hollywood and show business. Heidi Christina was born in 1958, and Preston was born in 1962. They were married for a long time. Heidi and Preston were raised in a home where strong principles were fostered alongside an appreciation for creativity, performing, and being active in the public eye. Malibu, California, a picturesque coastal enclave renowned for its seclusion, natural splendor, and closeness to Hollywood, provided the family with a tranquil home life as well as access to the entertainment business, and they had lived there for quite some time. They wanted a life away from the spotlight, so they relocated to Ojai, California, a town known for its peaceful, arts-focused community, later in life. An additional feature of Larry Hagman's life that stands out is his involvement in politics and social issues. He began his involvement in political engagement in the 1960s when he joined the Peace and Freedom Party, a liberal group that fought for anti-war, social justice, and civil rights. On many occasions, Hagman voiced his strong political views. To illustrate his readiness to speak out on national policies and scandals, even when his views were controversial inside the entertainment industry, he openly mocked U.S. President George W. Bush in the early 2000s, before the Iraq War. The fact that he was willing to take part in national conversation and question authority showed that Hagman considered himself as more than just an actor. Liver illness was one of the many major health issues that Hagman had to deal with throughout his life. His liver cancer diagnosis in 1995 was partly attributable to his decades-long history of heavy drinking, which lasted about 40 years. He had a liver transplant in 1995 to save his life. This came after a 1992 diagnosis of cirrhosis of the liver, a debilitating condition that had already severely impaired his health and added another layer of complexity to his clinical picture. When he needed a liver transplant, Hagman did not get any preferential treatment because of his celebrity status. The anonymous physical profile he had on file with the United Network for Organ Sharing was the sole criterion for selecting the liver that was given to him, according to a 1995 UPI article. Both the organ transplant system's objectivity and Hagman's modesty in recognizing its justice are shown by this. Hagman had a hard time controlling his drinking and also smoked heavily when he was younger. He finally kicked the habit when he was 34 years old. He became a champion for public health awareness after his own brush with smoking and its consequences. He was the head of the American Cancer Society's Great American Smokeout for a long time, which was a national effort to get people to stop smoking and raise awareness about the risks of tobacco. In addition to this, he made significant contributions to the National Kidney Foundation, displaying a strong desire to support wider health programs. His lifelong commitment to assisting others was evident in his experiences with disease and recovery. In these endeavors, Hagman made the most of his fame to advocate for better health education and important medical causes. His influence lasted long after his career in film and television ended. Larry Hagman famously revealed that his longtime friend and co-star Barbara Eden was the love of his life in a very personal and moving confession at the age of 81. Hagman is most remembered for his classic performance as the manipulative and colossal J.R. Ewing on Dallas. After decades of friendship, shared television experiences, and public speculation about his romantic life, Hagman finally admitted it. Despite his marriage to Maya Axelson and their desire for a low-key family life, Hagman never once hid the deep bond he had with Eden, whose career skyrocketed as the enchanting and charismatic lead in I Dream of Jeannie. Barbara was the love of my life, Hagman admitted frankly. No matter how long it went, my feelings for her never faded. In my heart, she has always been there. A unique individual whose friendship and company had a profound impact on my development. Even though he was known for playing villains and thugs, the actor delivered these lines with an air of vulnerability that audiences had never seen before, along with a touch of nostalgia and respect. In addition to his amorous feelings, his confession showed how much he admired Eden's intelligence, charm, and perseverance. For a long time, fans and entertainment journalists were curious about the relationship between Hagman and Eden. They had the kind of quiet camaraderie that can only grow between two individuals who understand and appreciate each other on a professional and personal level, as well as many moments of hilarity during late-night rehearsals. The intensity of that bond, which went beyond a casual friendship and grew into a deep, enduring love, is now illuminated by Hagman's acknowledgement. Despite the fact that it was mostly kept quiet for many years, Hagman frequently reflected on the off-camera, intimate moments they shared, the candid chats, the support during challenging scenes, and the light-hearted times that only close friends could understand. Barbara brought an indescribable joy into my life. Having her support gave me the will to persevere through the worst of circumstances. It seems like I kept something in my bag. He elaborated that it didn't matter if I never actually said it. Viewers got a look at the real Larry Hagman, a man capable of profound passion, thankfulness, and everlasting love, through his sincere remarks, which showed an emotional depth that was starkly at odds with his on-screen image. The confession of Hagman is more than just a celebrity anecdote to many. It's proof that genuine human relationships can endure, that love can conquer all. The comments of Hagman serve as a gentle reminder that certain links are eternal, even if they are silently treasured for decades. In a world when connections are sometimes transient and the private lives of public figures are scrutinized ceaselessly. As his colleagues and admirers think back on his life and work, this discovery adds a touching new dimension to his legacy, revealing a man whose inner life was just as multifaceted, intense, and everlasting as the iconic characters he portrayed. Fans all across the globe, who had known Larry Hagman for so long as Dallas's energetic, flamboyant J.R. Ewing, were stunned when he officially announced in June 2011 that he had stage 2 throat cancer. As JR, I could get away with anything, bribery, blackmail, and adultery, but I got caught by cancer, Hagman said in an interview about his disease, displaying the characteristic blend of comedy, humility, and bravery that has been his trademark. This line demonstrated his talent for humorously and honestly facing a very personal and terrifying circumstance, while also reflecting his strong bond to the character that had made him a television icon. After that, Hagman reassured the people, highlighting the fact that, despite its gravity, throat cancer is both common and curable. Working on the new Dallas series would allow me to receive treatment, he said, expressing his will to keep working despite the diagnosis. Being a part of a show I love with people I love is the best place in the world. The deep significance of his craft was emphasized by this sentiment, demonstrating the close relationship between his career and his sense of well-being. The emotionally and physically taxing operation to remove an acorn-sized tumor from Hagman's tongue took place later that year, 2011. This was the first of many difficult steps on the road to treatment and recovery, which would put his mental and physical strength to the test. Hagman, his loved ones, and his admirers were all filled with relief and optimism when, by June 2012, reports suggested that the cancer had gone into remission. But he still had a long way to go in his fight against disease. Myelodysplastic syndrome, a rare blood illness formerly known as preleukemia, was diagnosed with him a month later, in July 2012. An abrupt and unanticipated turn in his medical trajectory was marked by this diagnosis, presenting him with a fresh, intricate obstacle at a time when he was starting to feel hopeful after overcoming throat cancer. Acute myeloid leukemia was a tragic factor in Larry Hagman's death on November 23, 2012, at Dallas's Medical City Hospital. He was interviewed for the National Geographic documentary, The 80s, The Decade That Made Us, just before he passed away, so his thoughts and voice would continue to resonate with viewers long after he died. The documentary premiered posthumously in April 2013. His passing was a private and respectful affair. The Dallas Morning News was informed by Larry's family that he was joined in Dallas for the Thanksgiving holiday by close friends and relatives. Encircled by those he cared about, he expired. His dying was serene and tranquil, exactly what he had desired. This portrayal brought to light not just the kindness and compassion that enveloped him in his last days, but also the composure and dignity with which he met his maker. The circumstances of Larry Hagman's death are just one part of his enduring legacy. The New York Times remarked that, as J.R. Ewing, he became one of the most iconic villains in television history, a figure whose moral gray area and crafty charisma won over fans for years. Hagman was an extraordinary actor because of his ability to combine charisma, comedy, and depth. He was also an inspiring figure because his bravery in the face of a terminal illness reflected the strength and nuance of the characters he played. Talent, perseverance, and humor in the face of hardship are the themes of his story, an unbreakable bond with his art and his loved ones.